And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go see our good friends at Hail Mary's. They're located in Cheviot. They're right on Harrison Avenue. So they're inside the Dora District. You can go from bar to bar with your drinks, or you can just hang out at Hail Mary's. Say, I don't know, Friday night, 7:30, Crosstown Shootout. They'll get you taken care of. 27 TVs, 9-screen video wall. The Crosstown Shootout will be on the video wall. They've got the DirecTV sports package, so you can watch all the games. Brand new walk-in coolers, brand new draft lines, and, of course, ice-cold Cincy Light in 32.8-degree frosted glasses. All right, let's get to it. It's a Wednesday, so a little discombobulated. Aaron did his homework assignment wrong. So we're gonna talk about talking with Wes Miller previewing the Crosstown Shootout. And then I guess we'll just talk a little signing day after that. So talking about talking, Wednesday edition, Crosstown Shootout. Aaron, have at it.
All right. Coach Wes Miller said that Xavier has made lineup adjustments. They have changed their style of play, and they have improved the last few weeks, and you can see it on tape. He said that it was unique that their bigs at the 4 and 5 shoot as many threes as they do. Also making them, I think he said 4 and 5, respectively, between the two of them in games.
They shoot a lot of them.
Yeah, well, to make 4 and 5 at your 4 and 5, that's impressive. He said that's certainly something you have to prepare for. He said games are fun. Rivalry games are fun, and the higher the level of the game, the more excitement. Like, it was really hard for him to be I don't know why it was hard for him to be excited about this game. It still feels like he was almost treating it like any other game from his perspective, I guess. But he said experiencing the game, he now has an appreciation for what it means to the community. Didn't go so far as to say it meant that much to him, just means a lot to the community. A lot of games where there's a lot of excitement. As when he said that, he was referring to the conference games. So there's going to be plenty more games with a lot of excitement. So he almost, again, it just felt to me that he was poo-pooing on it a little bit. Like, yes, this is an exciting game, but you're also going to have other exciting games. But he does respect this game. He said the things
saying we have a really hard schedule. This is one of the games on that schedule. I don't think it's a shot. I think everybody needs to be offended by everything. I don't think it was a dig at anybody. It's, we play a lot of really big games. Some of them on the road. We're going to be in hostile crowds. This is another one of those games. But this one's a little different because it's, Xavier.
He said the things that matter are the things that matter, regardless of the game, and your approach to this game is still similar to any other game. He did
comment.
Things
that don't matter, the things that don't matter.
Look, there was so much coach speak in this entire press conference as he continued to say, "This is going to sound like coach speak," which is very similar to this is going to sound like an excuse, but it's not an excuse. But here is the reason why. Anyway,
it's going to sound like coach speak because it's coach speak. I know it's coach speak. I'm aware that it's coach speak, and I'm just going to tell you beforehand that coach speak is incoming.
Yeah. He said the new rosters for both teams, along with a new coach at Xavier. Xavier has no player that's ever played in this rivalry game.
They have one.
Do they have one?
Dante Jackson.
Okay.
He's a coach. They have one person in like the entire program.
Okay.
And Roddy Anderson was a red shirt last year. So he saw it, but he didn't play in it.
But he did say that having the roster turnover that you've had is unique historically in this rivalry, but it is the new normal. So I guess get used to it. Said that Trey Carroll shoots. He shoots it, but he can do quite a bit more. He can start the offense. He can drive. He can finish. He can play make. He can pretty much do anything that you need him to do. So that's a guy to look out for in this one. Said that he had not yet talked to Baba Miller, who has a relationship with Trey Carroll, but he assumed that staff had talked to Baba about that, in particular Jalen Stowe. But we'll see. Said that it is normal in every game to build an offensive game plan without losing what you're trying to do every day, but you have to find some edges, and Xavier has really good positional size. He said that he has known Richard Pitino for a long time. They were both the youngest coaches in the country for a while. He's followed his career, FAU, Minnesota, New Mexico, and he's just a terrific coach. And he said that you have to prepare your team for every game as far as teams slipping into zone, things like that. That's normal. When you've had a guy for years, like a Day, he knows what to do when a team slips into the zone, but not everybody else is on that same page because they're new. So you have some things that you're still learning when you're in your first year in a program, but he is going to make sure they're tight by January. And then he went on this long story, actually, a fairly long story for a presser, just talking about how Baba Miller made a sign that he thought meant, I want out of this game, I need a breath. It did not mean that. It, in fact, meant something different, but it meant, I think he was trying to call a defensive adjustment, and it was a fist to the bench. He ended up pulling him, and Baba was like, what are we doing? I don't know if that's where, I believe it was in the second half. You saw Cham try to go to the bench. You saw Baba go to the bench. Like, there was just miscommunication on the court as to who was coming in, who was going out there for, I don't know, about 20, 30 seconds. It was a weird thing happening on the floor. But he said that those are the kinds of things that you go through in your growing adjustments, growing pains, I guess, with a new roster. And
ultimately, he was talking about if Xavier plays zone.
With the
like
1-3-1.
If they play 1-3-1, like Day knows this is what we do against a 1-3-1 zone. But because everybody else is new, there's not like that, like cooked in, okay, here's our zone beater against this. Now they'll work on it in practice, obviously, but it's not like 3 years of muscle memory.
But that actually popped out to me because we've talked about it in the aftermath where we've seen teams move into zone and we've seen the team struggle. Our team struggle to kind of count. They still struggled to counterpunch it. So you know, you just, those are the things that you're going through.
Not a lot. You don't work on zone offense a ton. Like if you're playing a team that hasn't showed a lot of zone or doesn't traditionally play a lot of zone, you're not going to spend a lot of time in the lead up to the game working on zone just in case. Well, what if they play? Let's spend 45 minutes. We've got 4 hours of practice to get ready for this game. Let's spend a quarter of that working on zone that they might or might not play, or
I guess
it
only piqued my interest because it's things we've talked about, and I just wanted to relay that information to anybody else who's wondering why you can't just magically be ready when a team slips into zone. This could very well be one of those reasons where you have an entirely new roster who doesn't necessarily know when you see something new, something different that you haven't practiced before because you haven't been in this program for 2-3 years like a Day. So it was interesting. I think that was probably the most interesting thing he talked about and said the entirety of the press conference.
Well, and like the point of that being, like, as you go through 3 years, you're gonna play teams that play 1-3-1 zone, 2-3 zone, or whatever. So over the course of those 2 years, getting ready to play against the zone, it becomes, okay, well, I remember what we do when a team goes into I remember what we do. But like, if you're, and I don't know specifically on like Eastern Michigan, how much of that zone they had played prior to playing Cincinnati, how much of it was on tape. But like, if all of a sudden the team just throws a zone at you, and you haven't really spent any time in your preparation for that team because it's not something they do. With a new team, you don't have that muscle memory of, oh, okay, we know what to do. Now, that's not to defend the Eastern Michigan game because everybody knows in a 2-3 zone, somebody's got to get to the middle, get the ball, collapse the zone, and make something happen. And they were terrible at that. Carry on.
That's what I got. That was where he ended, was on that story. So
real quick, signing day. 22 guys signed. The big story of the day. First question I asked, being able to hang on to Lance Dawson. I know West Virginia. And honestly, Aaron, my understanding early this morning, was he's probably going to go to West Virginia. Zach Grant talked about it. They worked on it late into the night last night, worked on it again this morning. I guess late morning, they kind of felt like they had their momentum back and they got him signed. So in the past couple of years, we've seen this story multiple times, and it has almost always resulted in the kid flipping to whoever was coming after him. Good job to the staff and the recruiting staff for getting this one across the finish line and getting the job done, getting his name on the dotted line. You can see on 24/7 the 210th player in the country. I'll take one of those.
Pretty good. Yeah,
I'll take one of those. 9th best player in Ohio. The other main stories for me, 5 new guys on the offensive line, all of them good size, good, upside. I enjoyed hearing Zach Grant talk about Nathan Zappatelli, who he said was, one of the best linemen he watched in this entire cycle. I know Keegan is a big fan of Josh Smith, the wide receiver out of Afrocentric in Columbus. He played high school quarterback, really good. As a quarterback, he'll be moving to wide receiver at 6'1", 195. Multi-sport athlete.
He's listed at 6'5", 190.
Yeah, 6'5", 195.
Oh, you said 6'1".
Oh, 6'5", 195.
Yeah.
The other really interesting one to me is going through the list. Jaden Wyndham, sorry. 5-time USA National Boxing Champ.
Goodness.
I love that. That's some toughness, bro. 5-time national boxing champ. And he went to the same high school as Sauce Gardner. So, and obviously, Jalen Williams, the tight end from Bloomington South, I know they're really high on. A lot more size, especially at wide receiver. Some more size in the defensive backfield. I think they learned over this past year, Aaron, you can't be 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" in this league. Like, you need some guys 6 foot and up.
Well, and there's only one guy in the entire class under 6 foot, listed anyway, at under 6 foot. And that being the cornerback, where's he at here? Jamarian McKinney. He's at 5'10". Everyone else is 6 foot or better.
On the official release, there's 3. But Xavier, I know you're talking 24/7. Yeah. On the official UC release, Xavier Starks, Markel Taylor are both under 5 or under 6 foot. I think those are the only 2 actually. So, yeah. On the official UC release, just those 2 guys under 6 foot. But that's the trait stuff that Zach Grant always talks about is getting guys with some size.
Well, what did we find out this season? We found out that at secondary we were short, literally.
Too small. Too small.
And on that offensive defensive line, you can never have enough big guys. You can't go undersized there. We saw that particularly with Texas Tech and what they were able to do here this season. And of course you want to try and emulate something like that. So a lot of other, the Satterfield and Zach Grant
press conferences are there on the YouTube page, so check those out. And Keegan's got an article up on the class, and a lot of good stuff. We're rolling right along. I think Aaron and I will be back tomorrow night at some point to do a rare basketball 3 keys, Aaron. 3 keys for the Crosstown Shootout.
This one.
Just win. I think I'm just gonna all 3 keys or just win. Maybe we'll turn it into, since Dave and I didn't really get to it until late tonight. We'll talk through the game as well, but just go win the damn game.
I concur.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. We will see you tomorrow night. That is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!